I believe heritage is very important in creating inclusive spaces. Heritage is also a very complex animal. It's not a straightforward concept to understand, and not everyone understands it in the same way. Heritage is often interpreted differently by different groups in society and understood completely differently. It's contested, it is misunderstood, sometimes it's construed and used for certain agendas, it's used for political agendas, it's used for activists, and in different parts of society will use heritage in particular ways. But heritage is also deeply part of one's identity. And I think when I think of heritage, I think about inheritance. So for me, inheritance, it's a tangible something and it's intangible. It has value for me in many ways. And what drives me in heritage practice is that idea of inheritance is that we are building a future. We are making meaning from what happened in the past. We are bringing that story into the present whilst more heritage is being made. And some are trying to figure out what we are going to leave behind for our future, for the future generations, and for the youth who are using those spaces. What is it going to mean? What are we leaving behind? What legacy am I leaving behind? So, how does one take that kind of complex thinking around heritage and use it for inclusion in spaces? I think we shouldn't get too bogged down about what story we're telling too much. I think heritage should be used as a provocation. It should be used as a catalyst for engaging. It should be in the public realm. We need to move away from our static ideas of what heritage should be and what it looks like, moving away from the man on a horse and the beautiful architecture and building, especially in places like Bellville, where we have all these different, like a melting pot of all these cultures and different heritages from different parts of Africa that's kind of mixing, and new heritage is being made all the time. But we have this memory of the past. So it's extremely hard to bring that, as Guy said, the Afrikaner kind of heritage of the past, which still has value for certain people. How do we tell that story? We can't erase it. It's still valuable to some, and it can provide platforms for understanding whilst creating this new heritage. So I think it's important to deal with it face head on. It's important to confront heritage of the past and confront the current heritage being created and produced in the public realm. I think it shouldn't be held within monumental spaces and buildings. It should be engaged with. And that's where the inclusion comes in. Can draw from artists and performers and other creative expressions in dealing and confronting those things and create inclusive spaces. Whilst heritage is quite in our formal sense of how we understand it, we think of buildings and monuments. For the vernacular, for the community, or whatever word you want to use, community being a contested term of who we are catering for, it means completely different thing. So we need to push ourselves in how we understand heritage, and not be afraid of the contestation, so that we can move towards that kind of debate in public space as we confront all these things, as we pass them, as we walk through space. And I think that moves us towards a deeper understanding of each other.